Woo, we have some children here. It's time for the words for all ages. Would you like to come up? I have a short book. Sarah isn't with us today, so I'm doing it, and I'm going to share with you a book that I actually wrote. Yes. It's called Cakes for Mistakes. You see the little girl there? She thinks she's kind of super. It's a poem, and she starts, allow yourself to do things wrong. Make mistakes and move along. What mistakes is she making? Can you see? She's trying to hit a baseball, and she's missing, and she's subtracting. Did you do it right? No, she did not, did she? She didn't do her subtracting right. So make mistakes, but move along. Make lots of them. Now what's wrong? What's she doing wrong there? Yeah, she fell off her bike. I guess she's learning it, right? And I guess that's part of learning it.
I ride a bike with 2 wheels. I can ride a bike.
You can do your bike? You can ride your bike? You're good. I guess most of us had to go through this, didn't we? In order to enjoy riding a bike, you have to fall now and then. So make mistakes. Make lots of them. Everywhere. Now where is she? She's in a tree. She enjoyed getting up into the tree, but she got stuck. Like a cat. Right. Well, that's how you learn to climb a tree. Let them go into the air. And now she's trying to sing. And can you see what's happening to her music?
She's not very good at it.
She's not very good, no. Her music is kind of bad. Her singing is bad, and the dog too. But the dog's in pain. The dog's in pain. But that's the way she's learning to sing, huh? You can see the dog there. Yes, right. The dog is kind of singing too. And we'll. Okay. Her mom says, I'll give a star for each mistake, because her mom feels it's okay to make mistakes. I'll give a star for each mistake. You must earn lots to get a cake. Okay. But what happens, then the mom burns the cake. We'll see. Maybe that'll work. You're trying hard with all your might to make all things come out just right. And mom's done it wrong. You feel mad and sad and bad when mud and tears are all you've had. So mom feels bad now. And the little girl's with her. But the little girl has an idea. She says to her mom, falling down, just hop right up. Keep running on, and don't you stop, she says to her mom. Don't look back, and don't turn round. Oh, the little girl what's she done? She's giving a star to her mom. Don't look back, and don't turn round. More falls will bring success around. And now they're having tea with cake. And that's the end of the story. So I hope you'll remember now that it's good to make mistakes. Well, you're looking at the birds, the beautiful birds. A lot of birds at our bird feeder, aren't they? Some doves. I think a couple of doves. Okay. All right. Thank you. We don't have classes today, so you can go back and color or be with your big folks. And me. Okay, so I'm very honored and happy to be able to share something with you this morning, my beloved friends. You are very dear to me. All of your faces. I know so many. I know most of you. And I appreciate the chance to share something with you that I believe is essential for living a healthy, peaceful life, a fulfilling life. I'd say it's the most valuable thing I've learned in my life. This is about how to make decisions, how to decide what comes next, what is most important to do right now, or as we say poetically, how to find the lighted path towards the future, the best future. For much of my life, I have felt confused about how to make decisions, and I felt uncomfortable with myself. This was my search to find a way to live where I could walk comfortably, feeling peaceful with myself. As a child, I was a good girl. I was very good. I was usually the teacher's pet because I loved to learn, I learned well, and I never caused any trouble. I was attentive to all of what the adults around me wanted from me. In 5th grade, my teacher had to do a paper for an education course on a perfect child, and of course she picked me. She chose me, and she interviewed my parents about how had they managed to do this, to raise a perfect child. But inside me, I wasn't a happy child. I was just a good child. As a teenager, trying to choose a path toward a future, I didn't feel attracted to marriage and raising a family. I wanted to do something to help make a better world where there was less suffering for everyone, everywhere. I didn't know any women who lived like that unmarried by choice, except for Catholic nuns, and I was a Catholic. So eventually I decided I'll give it a try. I wasn't thrilled about it. I didn't like wearing funny clothes, and I didn't like feeling separated from the world. What I really wanted was to be part of the world. But I entered and I gave it a try. I loved the nuns. They were very dear, and I loved the prayers that we said throughout the day. But I didn't feel at peace about living this life forever. I was allowed to consult with others about whether I was really called by God to live this life or not. So I went to wise person after wise person consulting, and they always asked me the same questions. Do you want to spend your life serving God and helping other people? Do you like to pray? And I'd say, yes, that's what I want to do with my life, and I like to pray. Then they'd say, it seems like you're called to be a nun. But I kept going to more wise people. Finally, I consulted with a priest who was experienced in counseling, and he asked me just one question. Are you happy? He said. And no, I honestly answered, I was not happy. He said, well then, obviously, you're not called to be a nun. I was really taken aback. I had never heard that happiness was a sign of doing the right thing. I'd been raised in an environment that kind of praised suffering, like suffering is noble. And in some strange, contorted way, we please God by suffering silently and heroically. I learned this in church, in the church I attended, but I think it's somewhat in the very air we breathe, in the Puritan work ethic. We don't even see it as a belief in suffering. But this is what I picked up from everywhere, listening to the adults around me. Suffering is noble. We might call it hard work. You know, the Puritans might call it just hard work. If you work hard, you might earn the right to feel happy now and then. But happiness actually could distract you from a serious life, from doing the things you're supposed to do. Well, anyways, when that priest proclaimed that I didn't have a vocation because I wasn't happy, I was out of there in a flash. And I thought I was just obeying the priest. But when I got home, immediately my body started to lighten and to feel more energetic. And my spirit sprung up in relief and even in joy. I could feel physically. Then I realized that I'd always known that I didn't belong there. I knew inside, but no one had ever told me that happiness and my own feelings inside was a sign of doing the right thing. And I would add here that happiness feeds the life force in us. And over time, unhappiness drains the life force out of us. Whenever we have a choice, we should choose what makes us happiest, because amazingly, it will give us longer life. This is my great learning, that staying on the path of enthusiasm and health and happiness is the right path to walk. Nature itself gives us this basic guide. Nature does. The most basic guide in our life is the survival instinct, the urge to stay alive. In order to stay alive, we must make choices that give us more energy and health. Choices that make us glad to be alive and as able as possible to live in satisfying ways. The word enthusiasm has become a powerful word for me in making decisions. It's based on a Greek word that means the breath of a God in us. Isn't that beautiful? That somehow inside us is a God guiding us, and we feel this presence when we are enthused. This is a different kind of God from one who is impressed by our noble suffering. And enthusiasm is fairly easy to notice. It's more physical than the word happiness. You know, happiness is a little up here. We can even measure enthusiasm, like on a scale of 1 to 5. How enthused were you about your plans for Christmas, if you can remember? How enthused are you about your plans for January? If you're making New Year's resolutions, how honestly enthused are you about your resolutions? Or are you hearing a should from somewhere outside your own thoughts? As we try to pay attention to our enthusiasm, I see 3 big elements we may encounter that both help us and confuse us. One element I call culture, and part of why this is so confusing is that it's built on the foundation of love. It's well-meaning from the start. It includes all the people who love us and worry about us, people who are responsible to care for us. They try to teach us whatever they found to be helpful. Our parents, our teachers, our wider society in its laws and its services, all of this guidance and caring surrounds us and may confuse us if we feel we disagree with what we're hearing. And these folks may feel confused and upset if we choose ways they don't understand or that they feel are dangerous for us. And so learning how to stand on our own 2 feet and follow our own enthusiasm while staying in loving, respectful relationship with others is a lifelong challenge. But to find a life that's satisfying and gives us inner peace, we have to learn to walk this tightrope between the caring guidance of the world and our own interior guide. The second element we have to deal with is also both positive and negative. It's our rational mind. The education of our culture gives us, the education that our culture gives us focuses almost exclusively on developing our ability to think things through rationally. But we have access to knowledge much broader than only the rational thinking can give us. And for many, rational thought becomes a prison with an open door that we're afraid to step out of. The path of enthusiasm and help will be found most easily by feeling, intuition, by our bodies, our emotions, and thoughts that come to us spontaneously that we call inspirations. All of these things will help us make the best decisions. I recommend that we use our rational mind as a tool for problem solving, but not as a guide. This is a mistake we often make with New Year's resolutions. Year after year, we fail with the same resolutions because we're letting our rational mind lead us where we aren't organically ready to go. I learned a lot about this in studying about addictions counseling. People who love an addicted person will constantly urge them to do what's obvious from the outside. Stop taking this. Stop doing this. It's killing you. And the addicted person knows this logically, but they're just not able to do it. The addicted person needs inner space without pressure to find what they are organically ready and able to do. They might be ready to go to a support group without promising that they're going to stop the addiction. They're able to promise to go to a support group or to counseling or to stop seeing a certain person that supports their addiction. They can take some step, but they've got to be able to find it. And laying shoulds on them confuses them. Every living presence in this world has a program inside them that wants to grow. Growth doesn't have to be coerced or shamed or punished to make it happen. An image that helps me in this idea is that of the acorn, the seed from which the oak tree starts. The acorn, or any seed, is programmed from the beginning to become a certain mature type of life, even a particular form of that particular kind of life. Each original seed has within it the plan that wants to unfold. Each acorn may encounter difficulties as it naturally tries to grow into a mature oak tree. The ground it falls on may not be rich and nurturing. Not enough rain may fall, or as the seed grows, it might get stomped on or moved. All kinds of problems might arise, but the acorn doesn't have to make resolutions and try to grow into an oak tree. If it makes a mistake as it's pushing upward under the soil and it gets stopped by a rock and it can't go any farther up, it doesn't beat its breast in shame and apologize. It just turns and looks for another way toward the light. The acorn doesn't feel bad. It just corrects its direction. This kind of comes back to the children's book, like it's okay to make mistakes. It's about learning. It's about correcting our direction. Again, I say the instinct to stay alive is the guiding light for right living. Whatever drains life out of us, we should avoid as much as we can. Whatever strengthens our life force is what we intuitively and naturally look for. The third element we encounter that confuses our aim towards a satisfying life is what I call our destiny. Each little acorn and each little human baby has some parameters given from the beginning. The family we're born into, our gender, our race, the time period in which we're born, our nationality, our particular bodies, if we're tall or we're short, all these shape what we will experience, regardless of the subject of happiness and enthusiasm. These things are just there. And as we go along, big experiences, big ones, may come to us, like a hurricane comes through, or an accident happens, a sickness hits us. Maybe some doors in our life open and some doors close on us. Even hormones that arise when we're young and recede as we age. Hormones are part of destiny. They are strong forces, and they will challenge and shape us. Aging is built into the program. You know, this is kind of the Acorns program that connected with destiny. They're all together. And aging is built in. Death is the absolute given. It's the end goal of all life in this realm of the universe. Every oak tree and every human person is programmed to die. But within the effects of our destiny, we have choices and we have natural guidance if we pay attention. One last challenge to enthusiasm that I want to briefly address is when we might be in a really difficult situation, like caretaking someone we love, starting with a baby who won't let us sleep at night, or caretaking an adult you love as they're struggling to stay alive, perhaps to die, or trying to financially support more mouths than you can feed. I still say that even while part of a person is strained to the limit, if we're doing the right thing, we will feel some life force inside that wants to do this and cannot not do it, and that holds us up while we do it. We could say that part of us is glad to do it. If not, a person will not be able to do it indefinitely without endangering their own life. That is when we should use our good reasoning tool to find some other approach to this need in order to take care of ourselves. Asian philosophies often speak of the mind differently than Western philosophies. They speak of thinking with one's stomach. This is where the brain is in Eastern philosophies. This is where we think, they say we think most completely and accurately. They call it the Dantian, and we call it our gut feeling. We do acknowledge that our gut knows something even if we can't explain it. Like, I knew in my gut that I didn't belong in the convent. Sometimes in order to live a life that satisfies us, we have to do the right thing without knowing why, or without being able to explain it. We have so much natural guidance built into us. It would benefit us to study and learn more about how to feel toward our future organically, rather than to try to plan it from our heads. A Quaker theologian who I admire, Rufus Jones, said, "Many times I have found my way home in the dark because my feet felt the road when my eyes could not see it." There is something in us deeper than hands or feet that finds the way to the central reality, and when we arrive, we know it. The central reality, in my words, is the life force which brought us forth as a seed and leads us always toward growth and enthusiasm. Amen and hallelujah.